This is bigger than personalities, but it is time to acknowledge that blocking Andy Burnham was a mistake. The Prime Minister must now meet the moment and set out the change our country needs.
Our party has suffered historic defeats, and we can start by accepting that Andy Burnham should never have been blocked. It was a mistake that the leadership of our party should put right.
I think it's quite extraordinary that Keir Starmer has not already announced his resignation, that it is a catastrophic defeat for him, and it's a very personally identifiable one for him.
Angela Rayner just unleashed a devastating blow to Keir Starmer's leadership, publicly calling for his resignation and demanding change. In a brutal takedown, she slammed his leadership for dragging Labour into the gutter, warning that unless he lets Andy Burnham back in, the party's future is toast. As the Reform Party surges, Starmer's grip on power slips, and if he doesn't act fast, Labour risks being buried while the political world leaves it behind.
People have turned to populists and nationalists because we have not done enough to fix it. Living standards are barely higher than they were a decade and a half ago. People feel hopeless that the cost of living crisis will never end.
This is what it actually means. The second most powerful person in Labour just told Britain her own boss has failed. Keir Starmer has not only broken the party, but also lost the voters and wasted one of the biggest parliamentary majorities in history in under a year. Rayner didn't just criticize him, she put Andy Burnham forward as the future of Labour on live TV. When your deputy leader openly picks someone else as the solution, your leadership is done. Starmer just refuses to admit it.
Keir Starmer's Labour Party experienced humiliating losses at the local elections held across the UK.
Angela Rayner has also posted on X this evening demanding that Starmer allows Andy Burnham to return to Westminster. She's also criticised a so-called toxic culture in Number 10 and said it might be Labour's last chance to reverse its fortunes.
The local election results tore the mask off completely. Labour didn't just lose seats, it collapsed across Wales, lost ground in Scotland, hemorrhaged votes in London, and watched its traditional heartlands drift toward a party led by Nigel Farage. The party that swept to power less than 12 months ago is now being compared to a sinking ship with no lifeboats, and the captain refuses to move.
Yes, a big moment, this. Angela Rayner, former Deputy Prime Minister, a big beast in the Labour Party. We've been waiting for her to say something, and she has just said it. She's posted a pretty long post on X that it was a mistake to block Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester, for standing. She says that to deliver the change that is needed, they need to bring our best players to Parliament.
Rayner's biggest accusation? Starmer personally blocked Andy Burnham from returning to Westminster. Think about that. At the exact moment Labour needed its most popular, most trusted figure reconnected to national politics, Starmer chose internal political games over the good of the party. Rayner called it a monumental blunder. She's right. Burnham has the working-class credibility that Starmer has never managed to project, the regional roots that Labour desperately needs, and the kind of straight-talking style that voters actually respond to. Starmer buried him anyway.
We lost very badly in Wales. The leader lost her seat. We lost very badly in Scotland. Several very good candidates didn't win. We lost very badly in London, including the local leaders of my own borough and that of the leader of the Labour Party. This is what I would describe as an electoral emergency.
And now Catherine West, a sitting Labour MP, has gone even further. She issued Starmer an ultimatum that would have been unthinkable 6 months ago. Senior ministers must step forward to challenge Starmer's leadership, or West herself will launch a full leadership contest.
We do need a figure Phoenix-like to rise and carry us forward into the next electoral challenge.
That's a backbench MP threatening to blow the whole thing open. When elected members of your own parliamentary party are publicly demanding your removal, the authority is gone. The only question left is timing.
And it is worth looking at a chart of Labour losses, how many they've gone down by, and looking at the overall picture. The sheer number of seats, the councils where Labour lost every single seat that it was contesting.
Here's what makes this even more brutal. Wes Streeting, the health secretary, one of Starmer's own cabinet members, is already being positioned as a leadership challenger. His allies are talking, his supporters are moving. Inside the cabinet, while Starmer holds his morning briefings and insists everything is under control, the people sitting around that table are quietly calculating whether to back him or replace him.
Well, breaking tonight, Sir Keir Starmer looks set to resign as Prime Minister in this coming week. I know you've heard it all before, but we've seen huge speculation this evening that suggests the Prime Minister's time has indeed run out.
Starmer's response to all of this? He said resigning would cause chaos. That's the defense. A man overseeing historic election defeats, open cabinet rebellion, a deputy leader endorsing his replacement on live television, and his argument for staying is that leaving would be worse. The arrogance in that position takes your breath away.
And it's significant. It's our first win of a borough in London, and that in some ways goes against the trend, because the pattern that's emerging over the country is that Labour are being wiped out by reform in many of their most traditional areas.
Meanwhile, Nigel Farage is laughing. Reform didn't just pick up protest votes in these local elections. The party won in Labour strongholds, places that voted Labour for generations, communities built on trade unions, coal mines, and collective struggle, handing their votes to Farage's Reform Party. That tells you everything about how completely Starmer has lost the working class.
Huge numbers of migrants coming into European countries, including into Great Britain. Into the UK alone, about 200,000 illegal migrants have flooded in recent years. And the British people have said enough is enough. They do not want to be ruled by woke, left-wing socialist elites who believe in open borders.
The migration issue is a wound Labour refuses to treat. While Starmer's government ties itself in procedural knots, Reform delivers a simple, direct message that resonates with millions of voters who feel ignored. Labour has no clear answer. Every time Starmer tries to pivot on immigration, he alienates his progressive base without winning back the working-class voters he's already lost. Farage fills the vacuum every single time.
Working-class people are paying the price for the decisions that they didn't make. It's no wonder that across the UK, people feel that the system is rigged against them. And the Labour Party must now live up to its name. We must be the party for working people.
Rayner's warning about the working class should terrify every Labour strategist. The people Labour was literally built to represent, factory workers, bus drivers, care workers, families struggling with energy bills and mortgage payments, they're walking away. Starmer's government launched with bold promises and has delivered a series of decisions that feel tailor-made to punish ordinary people while protecting the comfortable. The winter fuel payment cut alone sent a message that Labour's priorities had shifted somewhere unrecognizable.
It's fallen on a Labour government to strengthen the hands of working-class people. And the task of this generation is to do that again. The fight back for the soul of this country.
Andy Burnham's name keeps coming back because he represents something Starmer fundamentally cannot offer: authenticity. When Burnham walks into a room in Salford or Bolton, people believe he understands them. When Starmer walks into the same room, people see a lawyer performing empathy. That gap between performance and genuine connection is exactly what destroyed Labour's vote share.
Well, 77 Labour MPs have now called for him to go, and these include people loads of them, really, to be honest with you. I mean, this Marcus Campbell-Savers says his position is now untenable. Colleagues should have the courage to say publicly what many have said privately for months, members of the hard left, the soft left, the centre and the right of the Labour Party have now called for Starmer to go.
The party is now facing a scenario with no clean exit. If Starmer stays, every bad poll, every by-election loss, every reform gain becomes another chapter in his collapse. If he goes, the leadership contest that follows will expose every internal fault line the party has spent the last year papering over. Wes Streeting versus Andy Burnham, centrist versus reconnector. The fight for Labour's soul played out in public while Farage consolidates his gains.
This is supposed to be the party for the working class. At the moment, the working class seems to feel that Labour have abandoned them and they are going in very large numbers to reform.
What Rayner did on live TV was risky, calculated, and devastating. She timed it perfectly, landing her endorsement of Burnham and her indictment of Starmer at the precise moment when Labour's wounds were freshest and the cameras were watching. Whether she wants the leadership herself or genuinely believes Burnham is the answer, the effect is identical. Starmer is finished as an authority figure within his own party.
Starmer is a charlatan, he's a liar, he's a fake, he's a fraud. The Prime Minister is gaslighting the British people.
You're watching something genuinely historic. A Prime Minister who won by a landslide, undone within his first year, betrayed in public by his own deputy, abandoned by his own MPs, and outflanked by a populist movement he never took seriously. British political history will record this moment. The only real question now is how much longer Starmer forces everyone to wait for the inevitable.